Hi private group, happy Sunday. Today we're making a Nightmare Before Christmas wreath. Jack Skellington, for those of you who know, it's a Disney classic. So I am usually asked to make one of these every year. So I thought I would take the sign that just came in and do a design around this wreath for Christmas for our private group. So I've already got the 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame worked out. I just have to do the last section. So I'm going to show you how to do this. I just color code it because it just looks cool on the back side. So doing this in each one of the sections, you're going to use your weld marks to determine middle ground and go ahead and put wire together the two innermost rings. And then we're going to use this in a weld to do the outside too, just like this. And I try to keep my pipe cleaners as even as I can. This way I know I have enough space. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. This way spacing is about every, this one's a little too close, about every 2 to 3 inches. So we're ready to go. We are using a red, white, and black metallic Deco mesh. This has been cut to 20-inch pieces. We're going to ruffle the entire base. So this whole thing is all going to be the same. And doing the ruffles, I'm just kind of focusing down that middle section. Finished edges are going to go to the inside and the outside. And then we're going to be removing the inside 6 as we get to them. Just like this. So that we build our entire base on the same Deco mesh. Because this one's a little bit darker. And I have a tendency of putting my Deco mesh in the very next pipe cleaner that I come to. That's just how I kind of go with it. See, I'm just going right up this middle edge, so I'm just having my fingers walk right up that middle and just kind of gather the mesh, pull it towards you, and then where you're holding it goes right down inside your mesh. So this would be beautiful mesh for Valentine's Day when you do that non-traditional Valentine's Day look. This sign, should you guys be wondering, is from Diamond Dust Designs. They are not on Etsy. They actually have their own website. So it's just diamonddustdesigns.com. I think they used to be on Etsy, and they're not anymore. So make sure we pull that one out. There we go. And then make sure you pull your pipe cleaners to the outside so it's easier to find those when you're ready to start stuffing your tails or your embellishments in them. And I'm going to kind of go through the base pretty quick so we can get on to the bow making, adding our sign, and then embellishing, of course. There was a couple things I guess I could have done on the embellishment now that I'm looking at the sign. I chose to go with candy canes so we keep it a little bit more Christmassy, a little less Halloween. But I guess you could use it for both. So there we go. I hope you guys are all having a happy Sunday. I know we're having a happy Sunday. Right?
Yep. I posted the website for the sign.
Gotcha.
It's fine though, in the private group, I still can't pin.
You still can't pin?
Nope.
I might have to delete you from the group and then re-add you and see if that will change things.
Let me see if I'm going to pull that real quick. On Facebook, changing my profile from me into
You. To the group.
Yeah.
That might be it. but I think I'd give you authorization to do both. That's interesting. Should have brought my tablet out.
Nope.
Still can't do it? I'll delete you and then re-add you. Huh?
Let's try it out.
So, loving all the metallics in this. So we're doing 18, 20-inch pieces. So we finished out a full roll perfectly, no leftovers. There we go. 3, 4, 5, 6. Should have been at 5, but there we go. Fluffing stuff. Okay. Get down to the bottoms. I think we're almost halfway. Trying to just be consistent. So what are you guys all doing on Sunday?
I guess I mentioned too, the sign is copyrighted, so you can't really post it that you're selling it.
You cannot post it that you're selling it because Jack is a licensed trademark. But sign makers can make them because they're just making signs. Although the same standard should hold true for them. It holds true for us. So I don't know. I just find these signs at random, and if it's a new design, I pick them up. I usually only do one. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I was like thinking maybe I'll just keep this one. Just because it's the first I've seen this sign done. And I love how it's done. Although I have quite a few Nightmare Before Christmas signs that I've managed to acquire. Just because I'm always asked to make one. So I just always keep some on hand. But yes, you would not be able to make this and then turn around and list it. You could do it as a custom order for anyone. You just can't advertise that you could do it.
Yeah, the mesh is red, black, and white from Craft Outlet.
Yes, it is.
All pieces are cut to 20 inches. They said, relax the day after a tiring, successful day at a jazz festival. Oh, that's nice, Faith. That's cool.
That is really nice.
Yeah, it said, recovering from cleaning house all day yesterday. That's not really nice.
That's not fun. But sometimes it's so needed. Like, we were trying to find something specific that I was looking for this wreath, and I know I will find it after I finish. Because I know I have it, I just don't know where I put it. It's one of those things like you pick it up at random, and then because it's such a one-off piece, you don't even know where to put it so that you remember it. So I'm just looking for these little foam, weird looking candy canes that I had. And that just kind of spawned the idea of doing a candy cane wreath for our 6 o'clock live, which we will do because I haven't done one yet this year.
Jackie read the sign. So Jackie, you can see, I actually provided a link so you could go right to the website.
What was interesting is I thought I had purchased it off of their Etsy shop, and I forgot. It just randomly came up in my Facebook newsfeed as one of those things where like it looks like an ad. So I clicked on it, and then I just bought it. So I was like trying to hunt down who I bought it from because nobody puts their information on the back of the signs, and then you can't remember who you bought it through.
And it is a wood sign. It is not a metal sign.
Correct. It is wood. And it's weird though.
That's a thin sign.
I don't know if they put a decal down because it's not painted. So it must have been decaled and then they sprayed it.
Yeah.
And then maybe cut around it. Because it's definitely got a different feel to it.
Yeah.
Wow, that one went way wide. So yeah, I've had this. I kept running across this sign when I was looking for other ideas. So I'm going to try to theme my weekends now. Like this one is kind of, I guess we could say this is kind of candy cane-ish. Because we're going to use candy canes in this design. Or peppermints. And she does make a couple of this version. But when I showed it to my friend, who's a really big Nightmare Christmas fan, she was like, I like that one. So.
Rita said, I'm getting discouraged with my projects. My wreaths and bows have really improved, but I'm really struggling with getting the embellishments to go in and looking right, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Next did you make it look crazy?
So, I guess it's how to know when is too much, or where to put them or where to place them, or, you know, what to use. In this case, now that I'm looking at it, we could have gone with snowflakes, like the baby snowflakes that Hobby Lobby sells in their miniature department. That would have looked super cute. Because it's Christmas theme, I don't think I would have gone with spiders or the ghosts, even though they're in the sign. So a lot of times I look to my sign or my ribbons for clues on what to add. This is almost right up there with the hot chocolate wreath. So I guess we're doing holiday beverages or holiday favorites.
Yeah, don't get discouraged, Rita. You definitely have the basics down with the wreaths and the bows. Then it's just a matter of working on it and improving.
Yeah, getting the embellishments to come later. Like, sometimes I use the embellishments as fillers. Like, I'm trying to think. When we did the wreath on Friday, we had a lot of additional space because we used an 8-inch round sign. So there was an awful lot of green around the sign, and I wanted to tone that down. And that's where I just decided, you know what, let's use embellishments for that. So there's that. I removed the 6 on the inside. Why? Because the sign, huge real estate piece. And so now we're going to go and do, this one's a little bit different. In the combo ribbons I chose, kind of how I wanted it to alternate. So let me pull these apart, and I'm going to do these the way that I have them. So we're going to do Merry Christmas because it is still Christmas for this design. So this is going every other one. So this is just going around the outside edge, and this is 2.5-inch mesh cut to 14-inch pieces. And that's just my tail length I prefer, because I like them to kind of extend out just a touch past where the mesh ends. So literally just a touch beyond. And the only reason I'm incorporating the Merry Christmas is, again, I really want the focus to be this isn't a Halloween wreath. This is a Christmas wreath.
Faith kind of said the same thing to Rita.
What's that?
Don't get discouraged. It's definitely a process and it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
You've mastered the basics, so it'll come. Keep practicing.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Don't be too hard on yourself. You know, just understand, hey, I got, you know, it's kind of like as we progress as wreath makers, there's a skill set we lack. And then once you focus on that and you get that mastered, then you focus on something else. So on this one, it's like building it in steps. So we're going to go here with the red. So it's still kind of Christmassy, but kind of not.
Kathy asked a good question. On the turkey wreath we did with the turkey attachment,
Yes.
I can't find the sign small enough to place in the middle. Do you think a bow that says "Give Thanks" will work?
You could. Try it. I know Hobby Lobby sells smaller signs, and you can always reach out to our sign makers and ask if they could make a smaller sign.
Like a 6 by 6 or something.
Yeah, like, well, yeah, 5 or 6 inches. I wouldn't go any bigger than that. Sometimes they can. There's a lot of sign manufacturers who do minis. So just reach out and ask if that's something they can do.
Especially one of the sign vendors that's in the private group.
Oh, absolutely. Like Jean or Linda. Now we did Pam.
And
So yes, just keep reaching out. Okay, so we're popping all those. That makes that easy. And now I'm going to put the 1.5-inch ribbon with the polka dots on white. We are moving we're going to do half bows. So I'm going to put the tail ends together and about 2 inches up. So literally from here to here, you're going to gather in at the 2-inch mark. And then we're going to plop those right in the center here.
Ooh, Kenitha, awesome. Said, hey Kat, I had my first big craft fair yesterday. Took lots and lots of stuff. Sold 6 wreaths.
Nice.
One was the turkey wreath you showed us how to make.
Good.
1 lantern, 3 pixie wreaths, and I have another this upcoming Saturday. Wish me luck at this one.
I think you're going to do really, really well.
That's awesome, Kenitha.
So I think if you have a wide variety of different price points, that definitely appeals to all buyers. Plus, here's the one thing I learned at craft fairs. A lot of people don't plan for, like, they plan on people having cash, but a lot of people these days don't carry cash. So I strongly suggest you guys all sign up for the square. It's the same thing probably most of our hairdressers or nail people use. And it allows you to take payments, credit, debit, and then it just deposits to your checking account. Right.
Right off your phone.
Yes. And post, make sure that sign is readily present in all of, in your booth. That you're not just a cash only vendor. We take credit cards, debit cards, and then all of a sudden that changes on what people are willing to spend because they didn't know that there was going to be a wreath maker there.
And you can even make a little sign that says we take, MasterCard, Visa.
Yeah, I think even when you sign up for your square and it's free, if you use the code that I have in our private group, you get your first $1,000 of transactions free.
Oh, Kenitha said, yeah, the square was my main source of payment.
Yes.
Thanks again for that training. So she already knows.
Good.
Awesome, Kenitha.
That's one of the things that I learned from one of my friends who did a lot of craft fairs. She's like, Kat, she's like, if you're relying on people to have cash, a lot of people don't carry cash. But if you get the square, she says, and then you tell people, because I know that's how I am when I walk into a lot of the craft fairs. I say, what types of payment do you take? And when they tell me that they have an ability for me to take a credit or debit card, even though I may not have that much cash on hand, it definitely opens it up to, okay, now I can shop. Because I wasn't thinking I would find something here that I would totally fall in love with. Whether it's candles or a book or something.
Rita said, I have the PayPal one, but have been looking at the square. It's totally free. Rita.
It is totally free. He's being weird.
It's Giles.
So as you can tell, I'm cutting these down. I'm not cutting them completely off because I'm going to do the scatters and fillers on this as well. But we're just doing red and white. And I'll do those once I finish all of them so that I can go red, white, red, white. Guess it doesn't matter now that I think about that. Didn't really want to put black, but I guess I could do black.
Oh, lady, that's awesome. I kind of remember that. She said my square came when she ordered it with a decal that lists Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and
Yeah, and I do that too. Because you get one that comes in the box, and I just put it in a small 5x7 frame, and then put that at the front of my booth, and I make sure that there's plenty of signage available for customers to see, just in case customers feel a little intimidated to ask. Like, you know, I don't want to go over there and ask if they do, because what if they don't? Make sure that you just make that easy, and always make sure that your products have prices on them. Because that's another difficult question for customers, is to ask you, how much is this? You know, how much is that? So we're doing plaid trees.
Kathy,
So, go ahead.
I asked, what do you think about taking Venmo also? You've never taken Venmo.
Well, Venmo was before we started doing craft fairs, so absolutely. You just have to have a way to be able to track that and record your sales. So just make sure that you have that ability. So whether you're, you know, trying to think of like, I think Venmo sends you like a receipt. We don't use Venmo that often. I mean, there's Apple Pay now. I think at that time it was Apple Pay and Samsung Pay. And now there's so many different, like
Google
Zelle.
Pay.
So, yeah. The more ways you have to pay, the easier it is for your customers to shop at those places. And they save by not having to pay shipping. So for some people, that's like a $20 to $30 savings in not paying shipping. Make sure you list those too on your Facebook business page, that if you have a lot of local people that follow your page, that you're advertising on there that, hey, I'm doing such and such craft fair this week. If you're thinking about picking up a wreath and you want to purchase it from me there, save, you know, the money on what you would normally pay for shipping and pick it up there. All the different ways that we could sell. And sometimes we just let those ideas go right out the window. Because there are people who do extraordinarily well at craft fairs. And there's some people who don't. Like, we don't do well. Because it's local to our market, and our people here are, they don't want to spend the money. They just want everything to be free. Honestly, they do. You know, they think maybe you get all your supplies at the Dollar Tree, and you're like, if you only knew how much it costs me in materials. I'm just trying to get a little out of it. I'm not trying to price gouge. Okay.
Do you use accounting program like QuickBooks?
No, Kat uses the old-fashioned way of doing Excel spreadsheet. I think it's just whatever you're going to be familiar with.
Yeah. And
then it was easy for me to just send that file over to my accountant and say, here you go. This is how I tracked it all. And it just made it super easy because I auto-summed at the bottom all the columns she needed. So she could just kind of look it over, and if she had any questions, she could definitely ask.
Faith has given some good advice too.
What's that?
She's telling Kathy, if you use Venmo, I recommend changing the privacy setting. As a default, it publishes all your transactions so that either friends can view them or the entire public. And you don't want that.
Ooh.
Kathy said, would you lower the price of the wreath since you don't have to pay Etsy fees?
You could.
If you're going to a craft fair, yeah. Right.
I generally don't, because they're already getting a $20 to $30 savings. So, like I said, I'm not sitting here making a grip load of money off of my product purchase.
So you mean just by not paying the shipping?
Well, you have to understand that when you list the items, shipping is separate.
Right.
So I don't lower the prices of my product. They're just getting it. They can take and go. So no, I'm not really adjusting prices, I guess. If that makes sense. Since they're already getting a break by picking it up. Okay, so there's that one. And then the last one's going to be this Christmas ornament, which you guys have seen. Both the Christmas ornament and the plaid trees are from Hobby Lobby. The sweater pattern plaid is from Craft Outlet. The white with the polka dot is Craft Outlet. Hobby Lobby, and then the Merry Christmas ribbon is from Craft Outlet. Just wanted to make sure I like
2.5 inch.
The 2.5 inch.
You have it as PJ.
Oh yes, thank you, Pinky Jub.
Pinky Jub.
Yes, one of our vendors. But you can always like sometimes tell that, you know, potentially they may have picked it up at Craft Outlet too. And then the black with the diagonal stripe. This is from Shinoda. So, Kat needs to get over to Shinoda. Maybe we'll do that next week. This week we got stuck having to wait for a tree trimmer guy who failed to show up. And then now we have really high winds out here today and lost another huge branch off our tree.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So if you guys can pray that our arbor guy will actually show up tomorrow and trim the tree. That one don't need. So these were kind of going every other one with the Merry Christmas in the front. And then we're just kind of alternating, you know, a darker red or a black ribbon on top of a white base. So this is like white based with the print is in red. This is red, and then we alternated the white. I always say we. We.
You.
Well, no, you found this one. I was looking for just a different ribbon, and I guess I'm out of it. I was looking for my snowflake ribbon. I think I used it all. It's from Joann's. But here's that little pop of black. This would be super cute. I thought about maybe adding a bat or two. Maybe. Because I have these super cute glittery bats that would be adorable in here. Okay, last one. It's way over here. Yep. So we're almost finished with our outsides. And then we'll do our bow, add our sign, and then pop our embellishments in. There we go. Sweet. Okay, last one. So all the 1.5 inch are cut to 18 inches for the half bows, and all the 2.5 inch ribbon was cut to 14 inch pieces. Okay, open right side the bottom on. There we go. Okay, just like that. And then I have all the little, I call them like little arms for my pipe cleaners. These will go where our styrofoam balls will go. All right, let's make the bow. So I'm gonna put this out of the way and pull all the ribbon out.
Barbara said it's a rule of thumb to get 100% on your costs. So if your costs are $30 to make, you would have 60.
And then don't forget your hard costs too. The gas to get to the craft fair. If you pay an entrance fee to get a booth, you make sure all that cost comes back as well. All right.
Right off all the mileage as well.
So we are going to, let's see. Is this a 7 ribbon bow? Yeah, it will be. Let us see. I think I'm going to go trees down, then that, Yeah, like that. So that's what it's going to look like. That's my stacking order. So I'm going to take these ones, the 1.5 inches, and set them aside. People are being crazy. I'm going to do the first one on this one at 10.5 inches, but let's dovetail our ends first. So wired edges together. We're going to cut from the fold to the corner, just like that. Okay, 10.5. Because this one I'm doing 7. This one would go 10.5. We can go 10 now that I think about it. We'll do 10. We'll leave it the same. And then flip. So we have right side, wrong side fabric. We'll bring it up and around. And we want 5.5 inch loops. So I put it on the 10. Right there's 5.5. And flip it over. Up and around. And then there we go. Okay. All the way out to 10 inches. By the way, this week is the last week to do your submissions for the holiday Christmas gift guide that will be published on first Sunday in November. I think I'm actually looking at doing it October 30th. Otherwise, it's a little too late in November, because otherwise I think it's November the 6th. So if you want to participate and you haven't participated before, or if you've participated before and want to continue, look for the holiday gift guide post and just tell me, yes, just renew my thing for November, and I don't need any other information from you. For those of you that are doing it for the first time, I need to know a sales point for you, which means, are you selling and where are you selling? So I'm selling wreaths, but it's through my Facebook business page. Then I need you to go to that post and put, yes, I would like to be included in the Christmas gift guide, which gets emailed out to all of my email subscribers. And then I also post it on our main page, the Cats Creations business page, so that your information is disseminated against people who want to support small business for the holidays. So if you're a Facebook business owner and that's how you sell, I just need you to go, hey, the name of my business is Cats Creations. My business page link is facebook.com/Cats Creations, so that I can include that as a link. And then I need to know where, what city and state are you based out of, preferably just the state. That way customers who want to support even closer small businesses, because it means shipping costs are lower, they can support their local small businesses as well. So this one is our Merry Christmas ribbon. We want to make sure that this stays, because it's horizontally done. We want to make sure that the Merry Christmas stays facing the same direction all the way through. Because the minute that I go like this and we twist, once this loop comes back and across in the Bodabra, we now have Merry Christmas going in 2 different directions. So,
yeah, so what would be a reasonable amount for profit? It depends on your costs.
It depends on you. I always say whatever, you're going to have to get all your costs out. So never go upside down on your costs. So if it's $30 in materials for your wreath, it's $30 is in there solid. You got to get that back. And then I ask you to take into all the consideration, if you're at a craft fair, what was the cost of your booth? What was the cost of the gas mileage getting there? Did you rent a vehicle because you don't have a car big enough? You've got to pull all those hard costs out. And then the simplest way of doing it is you can either double your materials cost or you can triple your materials cost to come up with your end product. That's the simple formula. Or you can ask yourself the question, how much would you get paid? How much would you be comfortable getting paid to do this every day? So if it's $15 an hour, then you add $15 into the price of your products, less all your, and then add your expenses in, your gas, your food, your booth rental, if you hired someone to come with you, all those costs. And then that becomes the basis for determining what do you charge for your wreaths. I mean, it's going to be really hard for a brand new wreath maker to go out there and say, I charge $100, $125 for my wreaths plus shipping. But if you've never launched your store or launched your product, it's going to be really difficult for you to get people to kind of follow you. It's a little easier to start off with a really good medium price for your wreaths, making sure again that you're getting all your materials costs out of it. And then slowly over time, add an extra $5 or $7. I mean, we're kind of being held subject to it now because with the supply shortage, we are being charged more for our supplies. So, gone are the days of the $50 to $65 wreaths, unless you're using Dollar Tree stuff or all of your stuff was purchased on sale. Right. So
I tried making that bow the other night and did well until I tried to separate it. What a mess.
Okay.
Just keep practicing.
So watch, we're going to do this again. So 9.5 inches in, because that's our tail length. And then I'm going to just move it down. And then my loop size is 5 inches. So I'm going to gather at 10, because 5 and 5, right? And then all I'm going to do is just hand that off to my left hand. Another 10, gather, hand. Kind of have to flip it around just a bit until I can measure out my 9, which is going to be right in between the dots. Just like that. And now I'm going to take the whole thing and put this inside my Bodabra so I don't have to hold it anymore. And then you can just right side everything. So now, if I flip it this way, all of my words are facing in the same direction. And you can only do that if your words are horizontally. If they're vertical, you can't do anything about that. It's like our trees. So.
No problem, Stella. She said she's watching late. She's going to watch the replay. Kathy said you're doing a great job on Holiday Guide.
Uh-huh.
You said you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Gail just got home from a big retreat. She sold 7 wreaths.
Nice.
And then Jill said, can you share what your holiday guide is?
The holiday guide? It's just a list of our private group members who sell products, whether you sell wreaths, whether you sell jewelry, whether you sell greeting cards, whether you sell anything. I send that out to my email list so everybody gets a copy of that the first Sunday of every month all the way through December. And it just basically has, here's a list of small business owners that if you're going to support small business owners with your sales, just tell me what you sell. Like I sell wreaths and home decor, or I sell wreaths, candles, jewelry, greeting cards, whatever. Sometimes when I'm pulling up your Etsy shop, you guys have told me it's just wreaths and home decor. And I'm like, but she also sells shirts, or she also sells earrings. So the goal is if you sell multiple products, sometimes a customer could be going to your shop to buy a candle, and then they see that you sell wreaths, and then they're like, oh, I need to buy that wreath. And oh, look at those adorable earrings. So now I need to buy the earrings too. So sometimes one product draws a customer to purchase additional products from you. So that just goes out to my email list, and then it also gets published to the main group, which has, I'm trying to think how many followers. Oh, I can't remember. 26,000 people are on my business page. So they all get the same email list, or the link, so they can purchase directly from you. Okay, so this one's going to be 4.5. And look, here we've changed it up because in the past we've done 2.5 inch. And then we moved to the 1.5 inches, and now I'm doing 3 2.5, and then 4 1.5 inches. So that's what I'm saying. You have the recipe, but you don't always have to follow it exact. So let's see. This one should have actually been a touch longer. So I'm going to pull this one out just a bit more. There we go. Otherwise I come up really short. And sometimes it happens when you're readjusting the ribbon length. So this one is a 4.5 inch loop with 9-inch tails. So we're just playing within the perimeters of the recipe and just varying what we put in it. It's like making chocolate chip cookies, but maybe you don't like chocolate chips and you decide to use peanut butter chips. Oops. There we go. Okay. Now, let's vary this. I really like this on the outside. Let's put this on the outside. I really like the black. So I'm going to do this one. I'm just going to move these two around. And this is going to be 8.5 inches with a 4.5 inch loop. So this and the 2.5 will all be same loop measurements. Just move that out of the way. Put those fingers in and then just pull, and then you don't have to measure the loops. I just have to measure the tail length. So in, pull, and then we are back out to 8.5. There we go. I'm trying to pick up as I go because we have another one after this one. So I'm trying to pick up all my stuff as I'm working through it. Just makes cleanup so much easier. Okay. This one will be 8-inch tail and a 4-inch loop. So here's 8 inches. Twist. Put it inside the Bodabra. And then now we have to remeasure our 4 inches, which should be just a little bit shy of that. A little bit more. Up and around and down. Okay. 4. Flip. We said 8 inches. Okay, dovetail. Pick that up. Okay. And those all out. 2 more to go. So this will be a pretty full fluffy bow. I actually had, was our Jack with the Santa hat?
What?
That you had seen in the garage?
Uh-huh.
It was a holiday Jack? Or was it just black and white Jack, plush? Do you remember?
It was the Santa Jack.
Was it?
The full body, yeah.
Okay. With the Santa suit on?
Yeah, you want me to get it?
No. I was just like, he doesn't have a Santa hat on in here. He's not dressed up as Santa. I was just curious. Because I have like the plush Jacks. And I was debating whether or not I wanted to put a plush Jack in with the sign. But then it just goes way big. Okay, this is going to be 4 inches too. But the ribbon length is 7.5 inches. So this and our white are same. Okay, pull. And straight out. There's 7.5. And then our black will be 3.5 inch loop with a 7-inch tail. what other questions do you guys have that I can help you with? It's a great opportunity for you guys to ask questions about anything.
Well, we just said that's about how she's doing it because she's so new. Perhaps cost an ad just a few dollars to make it. Most of my stuff comes from online vendors. I do get to Hobby Lobby and Dollar Tree once in a while. But it's not a special kit. You can see you go to the Dr. Square and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
I really love your bow. You always beautifully done.
Oh, thank
Jill
you.
said you have really mastered the art of bow making.
This was just like my formula for, okay, it's kind of like, you know, like how the Pro Bow, the reason why we like the Pro Bow is because it turns out like the perfect bow every single time. This formula for me yields me exactly the diameter, height, and like the dimensions of the bow that I want. So I know that if I follow this formula, my bow diameter will be the same. I can either make it more fluffy or less fluffy depending upon what else I decide to put in it.
The cat bow.
I hate that. It's not, I have no rhyme or reason to anything. People with their, this is my method.
That's awesome, Faith. She said I made a fall lantern swag and table runner centerpiece. They both sold last week.
Yay! Super excited. Did they sell to the same person? Like, did they buy, was it like a set? Like, did they buy both? She said centerpiece and a lantern swag. So, did they buy both because they were like a set or close to looking like a set? Okay, so I'm just going to pick this whole thing up. I'm going to adjust my fingers and slide my pipe cleaner in. And then I just kind of really cinch the bottom and hold it until we can get a couple twists under a belt. And twist the bow. Don't twist the pipe cleaner. It's too hard on your hands. Okay, so fluff board. Cutting board. Just a piece of wood with a cup hook in the center. That's all this is. So it just, like, I literally, when I started, I fluffed on my wreath all the time. Because I was like, why do people fluff off the wreath? Isn't it easier just to fluff on it? Because then you don't have to reposition it and push it all back on there. That was logic.
Okay, I thought you said no, there were two different customers.
Nice.
The one who bought the table runner also bought our fall wreath.
Very cool. Love that. Okay, so the art of fluffing is just the art of separating. So we have top and bottom. So all we're doing is separating loops from tails on the top. So here's our loop, here's the tail. Pull them in opposite directions, left, right. Go to the other side and go opposite. So because our tail's over here on the right, we're going to move our tail to the left and the loop to the right. Okay? Tails directly opposite, loops directly opposite. Go to the next ribbon down. Here, we are going to have to do through my loop on this one. Tail here, loop here. I'm just going to refluff my pinch right there. Go to the other side, opposite, meaning my tail needs to come out here and my loop needs to go here so that those two are also directly opposite. So that every time you're bringing down 2 layers of ribbon, in this case the 2.5 are the ones that went first, they're staggered by tail color and loop color. They're all like alternating. Then here we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do loop and tail. We're just following the plaid trees. Okay. Over here we're going to do the same thing. There's my tail. Here's my loop. Going to pull it out. Take the next one down. It's our red. So loop, tail, go to the opposite, loop, and tail. We're just separating them. Okay. Here, I'm going to mix these up because otherwise it's all the red or stacking on top. So I'm going to go let's switch this up and put white. And it doesn't matter that these two were basically one on top of the other. Doesn't matter. Just so long as whatever you do on the top, you also do opposite on the bottom. Because you don't want, like, put your loops in the same spot. Okay. Now that allows us to put the red on top of the white, which looks so much better. And we're going to do the same thing. Here's this and our tail. There we go. And then on the very top, we have our black. And then this one. So once you have them separated, right now, look, totally flat. Because I want you to kind of get over the notion that these are fluffed. They're not. So when you start at the top, you're going to pull your first one open. Okay, just open your ribbons, the loops. Open your next ones. Okay, we're just kind of giving some life. We're elevating them. Okay, the next one, let's make sure this kind of pops behind our black, kind of off to the side. And then we have this one, which will fall in between those. I'm going to pull this one off to the side. Open that up, which is over here. Open this up to you. Then open your bottoms. Just like so. Bottom. And bottom. Okay. Now you have your tails. So anything you want to rearrange how it's laying in particular, you can just move your loops around. I don't know if you want, you know, some of your tails going one direction, some of your tails going like mixed in here. Whatever you want to do, since you're the designer, you decide. Okay, I forgot to open this one because it's flat. Because I flattened it on purpose. And then we're going to put the arcs back in by just running your hands underneath. There we go. And then any last minute adjustments you want to make. And I want this one in between those two. There we go. There's our bow. Our bow is all done. So I'm just gonna pop this off the same way I popped it on. That's all done. We are going to grab our wreath. We are going to add our wire to our sign. So I'm just using 22 gauge wire. Look how much, like, I really use the 22 gauge wire.
Yeah.
Kat's gonna be going to Joann's tomorrow to buy more wire because I am plowing through it.
Good, Rita. She's going to keep practicing. Kat said you were spraying it great today. I think I messed up because I don't have a fluff box. I'm going to keep this video to refer back to it. Thank you.
Okay, so look. Watch this. Let's do this today. Flat. Okay, it's flat. We don't have a fluff box. Let's just start there. Okay, so kind of, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add my sign. We'll fluff the bow in a second. Okay.
As long as you separate them and organize them correctly.
There is no correct way. It's just whichever order you want to put them in. Because I'm trying to break away from the stereotype of it needs to get done this way. It's whatever way you want. You're the designer. It's like having someone tell God, well, I don't really like the fact that sunflowers have brown in the center. They should have like some other color. And God's like, that's nice. Sunflowers are made the way I made them. So, I just had Steve put holes, like drill small holes in the sides of this. You could have also used the adhesive commercial tabs, the things that I showed you in the shipping box. You could have attached those to the back of the wood because this is really thin, like super thin wood. So stapling it would come out the other side. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to fluff this right in the center. Look how pretty that looks. And I'm going to try to, see, here's my inside ones. I'm going to use an inside pipe cleaner because I know that if I go here and the one directly on the opposite side, they're the same distance apart. And I know that they hit the frame. So here's one side. So I'm just going to kind of push it so that I can kind of get an idea of where does it need to get fastened. So I just kind of want to break the rule of, well, if you don't have a fluff board, you can't make a bow. Yes, you can. So I'm going to show you the exact same way I used to do it. So right here is back to my red. That tells me red and red are directly opposite. Or they were. So push this one down. Just like that. And then I'm going to pull my sign out. So right now you can see definitive line. So we're going to take the outside pieces of my mesh. So the ones that pop here. The one that's right here. I'm going to find that one. Okay. Wow, this one went way over here. How in the heck? I'm like, this one went all the way over and then the wire went through it. Oh, let's see if we can kind of just... Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to kind of leave this area up here a little flat because that's where I want my bow to go. And then we'll fix these. Super simple. Fix, fix, fix. 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 Okay. Leave this flat. Leave it flat. Everybody gets tucked. There we go. Leave that one there. I'm going to kind of go up and under. Otherwise it pushes your bow up. So everything right there. Flat, flat, flat. Okay. Now we're going to take our flat blue because we don't have a fluff board. And you're going to kind of roughly determine where you want that to go. And with it flat, it's super easy because you can see it all on a flat dimension. So probably right about there. So I'm going to go ahead and get that down into the frame. Let's see. There we go. And there you go. You know, pipe cleaners and that natural fabric mesh. Okay. Now we're doing the same thing. So even if this was staggered, I prefer to do the same thing. Grab the tops, open them up. Here's top. We're going to go opposite. There we go. Go around, pop those up. Move them around wherever you'd like the colors to be displayed. Up, up, up. Trying to find the other one. 1, 2, oh, there we go. 3. Okay. Spin it around. And now we're going to fluff from this side. And I put my Merry Christmas on backwards. Look, that's all upside down. So I'm going to reach under here. And I'm simply going to turn it so that the Merry Christmas part comes out. There we go. Now we can refluff. Look, it all refluffed itself. No, that was just from the other side. Open, open, open. Basically, it's just find the loops and open the loops up. So we want to pull this over. Here's our loop. There we go. Oop, oop, oop. Make sure Merry Christmas is where that is. Then we gotta open the back ones up. So let me spin this around. Open, 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 open. Ribbons, ribbon. Trying to position this where I want it to, where its final resting place will be.
Jill, the mesh is from Craft Outlet.
There we go.
And says that's exactly how I fluff my bows on the wreath.
On the wreath, absolutely. And that's the way I did it for a very long time, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. So now, everything is in the right spot.
Happy 48th early anniversary, Rita.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
There we go. We've got our overly clingy mesh. I'm going to pull this forward because I want the tails to kind of do a little squared frame. Like that. Still want to be able to see all the writing. It's just getting hung up on the smallest little threads on the sign. Okay, now I gotta fix these because I smashed them. Putting bow in. There you go. So now it's time to embellish. So technically you could stop here and that's fine. Embellishment is just like, what can I add to pull different elements into the sign? Well, I already said that I was going to use scatters and fillers because these are inexpensive, especially if you get them from the Dollar Tree. So these are just little styrofoam balls that slide directly on to the ends of your pipe cleaner. And then off camera, because no one wants to see you do this, 24 different times, you put a little, you pull it off, you see where the hole is, you put a little dab of glue on, and then you slide it back onto your pipe cleaner. Pull that off. There's my hole. Little dab of glue, just one dot, and then back on the pipe cleaner it goes. Just like that. So we're going to alternate red and white all the way through. Just like that. Because those are an inexpensive touch. There is not an awful lot of money invested. I think even if you bought, I think these ones may have been either red or red and white. $6.99 back in 2019, less 40% off. And it doesn't say how many of them you get, it just has a weight. It's not very much money to just add these. And it kind of, especially if you're using the work frame wreaths that already have the little tinsel ties on them, and maybe you don't like the look of, seeing your tinsel ties come out, putting scatters and fillers on the end makes it seem like there was a purpose in that being there. So they just slide on because the wire is super stiff. Okay, so that just gives it a finished look all the way through. These are the things Kat does when the camera's not on. I finish up gluing all my glue balls on so I don't forget, and they go out or it technically never has gone out. I usually catch it beforehand. But it's one less step I have to do to get it ready for shipping. Okay. We'll go underneath because I like to get the ones underneath. There it is. This and this. There's a red and a white. And then I'll readjust my bow. Go back over here because there's another one on the other side. And it's up to you if you decide you want to skip the embellishments on the underside. Ooh, I put them on the wrong side. There's that. And red. Okay, back over here, red. Trying to find the larger whites. White, red. There we go. White and red. Again, you could stop here and be done, or you could add fun things like look for a little ball to add in the side that ties the balls into this. You could, because this sign is labeled Jingle Juice, I'm going to add red jingle bells instead. And these are...
She was actually able to wood burn this mesh.
Yes. Okay. I need the red ones. So, I am going to, on some of the red, I don't know if I want to put these, I think I'll put, and it's figures, I glued that one on. That was my gluey one.
Big yes. Do you find the tips of your dovetails curl less with the deeper V that you cut?
It depends on the ribbon, honestly. So I am gonna just swap out a couple of the red balls. So with the red jingle bells, so I'm gonna go every other one. So I'm gonna take this one off. And then these have like little places where I guess you could thread them on. So as you can see, I'm putting them right on the pipe cleaner and then just bending the pipe cleaner back to hold the bell on. I'm not gluing the bell. This way it could jingle. So we're gonna go right in here. Flip that over.
Maybe the bells are from Hobby Lobby, but you can get them.
Yeah,
anywhere.
Hobby Lobby $6.99. They're $75. You can get them all red. You can get them like I got. This was a mix. Oh, Cat was going every other one. I was still okay. There we go. And I think I'm going to replace that with a jingle bell. I'll glue that one in a second. And that means that this one, the red, comes off. And the jingle bell goes on. So that's a simple embellishment, and that's just taking a clue from the sign. Because the sign says Jingle Juice, which is Christmas. So one more right here, and then we'll glue the one in the center. So see how just those are totally different. Because I could just picture someone go, well, it says Jingle Juice. I don't get that. They should have put jingle bells in it. I did. So this, I am just putting a dab of glue inside my bow. And I'm going to set my jingle bell flat. So it's the bell side up. And then I'm going to add a couple embellishments, which are I said I wanted to incorporate these because this feels very Jack-esque, which are these little picks. So let me make sure. There's 4 of them. Where these came from, I don't know. So, they just kind of feel kind of whimsical. So I'm kind of pulling the glue threads out that are on here so they look a little nicer. Probably how they glued them on. So we're probably going to put some like in here, like that. It might go the other way. I think like this. And see, was it Rita that was saying something like she had an issue with embellishments? Sometimes it's just taking them and playing with them. Like how right now I'm just placing them. You know, looking at where do these likely fall. Do I like where they look? Do I hate them? Would I take them off? You know, you can put some inside your bow, like that. So I think I'm gonna put, there's only 4. I hate leaving one. So I'm like, if I'm gonna use it, let's just use it. So maybe we'll put 2 around the wreath and then 2 in the bow. So I'm just kind of playing and placing them in there like that. That looks like so much fun. Maybe we'll do this one over here. Like that. And if you like it, then glue it. If you hate it, then take it out and play with something else. So I am going to glue the ends of these little curlicues. I think I pulled this out here. Yes. Okay. Remove the glue thread right where I had it. I glued the top and glue the underside. Tuck this right into our bow. Right there. Fluff, fluff. That just feels kind of candy cane-esque, kind of fun. There we go. And I think I said in here. There we go. Okay. One down in here. I'm going to stretch this one out a little bit so it has a longer length. There we go. Down in here. Just so we have these little bits of whimsy. What do you guys think? I do have to incorporate a couple candy canes though. So I'm debating peppermints or I know what I really want to have, but those are an impossibility because I don't physically have them. These just seem so long. See, and I'm just like playing with them going, no, too big. So let's go small. So I'm going to take that one pick, and these are from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to break these apart. I'm going to twist them so it's kind of like little bits of peppermint. And let me see. Because how would I put these in there? That one's kind of cute in there. Of course, Hobby Lobby always has to put one.
Debbie, we can give you the SKU number for the Hobby Lobby bells
It is 699-4636. I'm gonna just kind of randomly stick, and I'm gonna use up the rest of my the candy cane picks. So I'm just kind of coming in here and adding a little peppermint, like right there. I'll take a couple of these and just randomly tuck them around the wreath. Just like that. So it kind of feels Christmassy. It's not spooky, it's not scary. So I'm just kind of twisting these, and then I have the pick on the end. And I'm just gluing the pick. Just the end of the pick. Just like that. And then I'm just kind of tucking.
Debbie, I posted it, so it's right above you. Right above your post.
There's that. And let's put one more. Let's put one more in. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Sometimes, let's just add that right in there. I don't want it to go too deep. There we go. Just so that we have like little peppermints, little whimsical things like this. But it's all kind of tied together. So I'm just taking hints from here. You could have come in with little, you know, little pieces of snowflakes. I just went with a candy cane and kind of kept it red, white, and black. But yeah, there you guys go. Super simple, right?
Yes. Well, some of the candies are from Hobby Lobby.
All the candies were from Hobby Lobby.
Okay, so yeah, they're all from Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, they came on a pick that looked like this.
Oh, that's right, that's well picked.
No, they're not a squirrel pick. They're just like this. They're like 99 cents, but 40% off is like 59 cents. So those, and you get 6 of them. I do need to glue the ones in the bow though. That is it. So Jack is done.
Yay.
So I'm just going to glue to the end and tuck just like that. We're gonna do the same one right here. Tuck that right in. And now we have peppermints, candy canes, little curlicues, just like that. And there he is. All set. Ready to go out the door. Just like that. Okay, what questions do you guys have? Otherwise, I'm gonna let you guys go. So I gotta glue all these things on my wreath and prep for our 6 o'clock, which is all about candy canes. It's gonna be as candy cane over the top as I can possibly do.
Okay, so Kat, I think it'd be good to see your process of choosing materials for your design. Like thought process and how you make decisions on what you're selecting, sign, match embellishments, ribbon. It's almost like a behind the scenes live before the actual class. Get that?
Yeah, maybe we'll do that tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow at 5, I won't have anything done. I will just kind of walk you through my process of putting it all together like Faye says, and kind of teach you how. I guess the benefit that I have is I have a lot of stuff available in my house.
Yeah.
And most of you might be limited to where you think red, white, and black, so you pick up enough red, white, and black. Like you could have done Hobby Lobby black and red plaid fabric mesh. That would have been perfect. But I have like tons because this is going on my 5th year. So I have 5 years worth of wreath making supplies. So sometimes I have like, maybe I bought enough to do a candy cane wreath, and I had a couple left over. And then the following year, you grab another 3 or 6 and you add them to the mix. So you just kind of start stockpiling, and then pretty soon you can kind of, it's like, imagine if you were to go into Hobby Lobby and make a wreath based off of the stuff you found inside this store. It would be super simple for you because you have access to the entire store's inventory. So yeah, we'll definitely do that tomorrow, and hopefully that will help. All right, everyone. Well, I will see you at 6 o'clock in the main group, and we'll make a candy cane wreath. And I'll talk to you then. Bye.